Alright guys, this is our weekly solo players guide to the Nightfall with our Warlock. If you need a Hunter or Titan, look in the description box down below. Those guides will be linked in there. So if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit subscribe, because not only do we do 3 Nightfall guides every single week, we also do Challenge of Elders. That guide will also be in the description box down below. So without further ado, let's go ahead and look at our modifiers for the week, as well as our setup, which includes weapon recommendations, subclass setup, all of that good stuff. Modifiers this week include Void Burn. Void damage from any source is greatly increased. Brawler, Guardian melee damage is greatly increased. Grounded, players take more damage while airborne, so jump as infrequently as possible. Ironclad, more enemies have shields, which just means the Silence have shields. And Daybreak, this is pretty much just gives you mayhem recharge abilities, recharge rates I should say. So all your supers, your grenades, and your melees are going to recharge very, very quickly. Like you'll be getting a super every 30 or so seconds. As far as setup goes, I would definitely say you want the Nothing Manacles. Those things help a lot. If you're going no raid weapons, I would highly suggest some sort of scout rifle like the Badger CCL. Hand of Judgment, if you can get this actual roll, this is a pretty awesome roll. Firefly and explosive rounds, hand-laid stock. You can get this from the House of Judgment, or the Prison of Elders, or Challenge of Elders reputation packages. So that's really awesome. We're rocking Devil's Dawn and Void, but if you have a Ex Machina or Event Horizon in Void, those will do just equally as well. And then I would actually suggest a rocket launcher this time around. As far as this goes, you definitely want to embrace the Void, killing enemies with Nova Bomb or any grenade triggers. Did I read that right? Killing enemies with Nova Bomb or any grenade triggers energy drain and restores your health. That's very helpful. The Hunger increases the duration of the energy drain effect, which you might not want. Could be do Angry Magic, but the Hunger is what I just rock normally. Lifesteal, I would suggest Vortex just because it'll do a whole lot more damage than just a regular Nova Bomb. And then of course you want Scatter Grenades. Let's go ahead and rock this guide. Alright, as soon as you get here, go ahead and just start taking out these Scions that are going to spawn in. There's going to be about 4 or 5 of them, so go ahead and take them out. As well as 5 or 6 Legionnaires. They're going to be on the ground, so just go ahead and take them out with your grenades or whatever you got. And then once you round the corner, there's going to be 4 or 5 more Legionnaires, 2 Phalanxes, and a Colossus. Go ahead and take them out real quick, and then we will deal with the tank. Try to use as little special ammo, sniper ammo as possible. You are going to want that for the boss fight, or not the boss fight, but the tank fight. So grenades, especially since they'll just be like instantly respawning with the Hunger and Embrace the Void and Daybreak, you'll pretty much get an endless supply of your grenades. Alright, so once you get here, go ahead and just start shooting those thrusters on each corner of the tank. It will take 4 shots. So what I like to do is hit 3 shots each as it twirls around. and then I just finish them off. And then whatever I don't have ammo for, I just pretty much just throw a super or a grenade. That's the easiest way to get this thing down quickly, in my opinion. Go ahead and super those enemies coming up. That way it buys you a lot of time. As you can see, it's only got 2 thrusters left already. Just be careful of those enemies running up that ramp. So if you want to, go ahead and throw some grenades down there. Also, if you want to, you have to look out for the cannon on the tank. That thing will charge up. If you see it charging up, just go ahead and move into cover and then back out of cover, and it will cancel out that shot. So pretty nifty trick. And then once you get here, try and super that Centurion. Yeah, Centurion. That taken Centurion. Just get him out of the way as fast as possible. As you can see, he's doing void damage. And then everything else just does arc damage. Also, that Centurion will throw void balls, and those will hurt a lot. So be very careful of that. Just super these guys out of your way, or throw a bunch of grenades, whatever you got. Just throw it at them and move on. Alright, and then once you get here, there's going to be about 4 or 5 phalanxes and a bunch of legionaries, and then 1 colossus in the far back. I just go ahead and take them out with whatever you got, supers, grenades, whatever. Just make quick work of them. It shouldn't take too long at all, and then we'll move on from there as well. Alright, so as you can see, we're doing really good as far as time goes, so you can kind of take your time with this boss fight, and I suggest you do. Go ahead and run straight over here into this corner is pretty much where you're going to want to stand. Once the boss comes out, wait for his health to start spawning in, and then you can start doing damage. He will hide from you if you stay in that corner the entire time. So what I like to do is kind of like take a few steps to the left. That way he'll come charging at you just like this. And then before he gets too close, just make sure you hop back in that corner, otherwise he will slam you. So be very, very careful of that. And then just keep throwing your grenades. And then once you get him to about 3/4 health or so, there's going to be 3 phalanxes that spawn in on the right side and about 6 scions that spawn in on the left. I would go ahead and just deal with the phalanxes first. And then as you can see, it takes these scions a little while to get down here. Just start throwing grenades when you finally, when they finally get in your range. I would suggest throwing the scatter grenades in front of them. That way they run straight into the blast, and you don't have to waste as much time. And then just work on Valus Maul again. I would suggest killing all the ads before you do all the damage to Maul. Once he gets down to about half health or so, he will flee and more enemies will spawn in. In that wave, there's going to be two, what are they called? Centurions. My brain's not working today. Some scions, a couple phalanxes, and three. I want to think there's also three legionnaires in this one. No. All right, so just three phalanxes, two centurions, and some scions. Just go ahead and take them out real quick. Again, with whatever you got, grenades, supers, weapons, whatever. I would honestly save your heavy weapon, especially if you're using rockets, for a later wave of enemies. You'll see why when we get there. So Arc is actually really easy as well. You can just stand down here. As long as you kind of hug this wall a little bit, you can get pretty close to him. As you can see, he's shooting that, I'm not sure what it is, a battery right in front there. Alright, this wave is the one with the legionnaires. Go ahead and just start throwing grenades over to that wall, or that door. There's also going to be a centurion. I think a centurion comes out from either side, and then there's just going to be three legionnaires from the left side. Like I said, in the last couple waves, go ahead and just deal with the right side very quickly, and then you can move on to the left side. It shouldn't take you too long at all. And then just go ahead and keep popping supers off on to Arc over there, and then throw your grenades. And then make sure to get full heavy ammo. Go ahead and pop that, especially if you're using rockets, because this wave will have two major legionnaires, one or two normal centurions, and I believe I think this is the only wave without scions, actually. Just be very careful of them, and you should be good. Of course, that guy goes the opposite way I shoot my Nova Bomb, but whatever. There we go. You want to do just what I'm doing right there. Only use your rockets if you actually have to. A sniper, especially if you're 400 health, will one-shot these guys, even the major ones. At least Devil's Dawn does. So be very careful of that. And then once you, again, with the going the opposite direction, evidently I wasn't close enough into that. That's what happens if you're not right in that corner. But or if you're in that corner but you didn't get there fast enough when he spawns in, he will also smash you. So be very careful of that. Otherwise, just go ahead and start doing damage to him, and then once you get him down to about a quarter health, or a third maybe, the next wave will spawn in. That will also, I believe, have a couple major legionnaires. Some scions are in there, and maybe some centurions. Don't know why I'm not remembering this. I should write this stuff down. But go ahead and just do that. And then once you kill all of those ads, go ahead and start doing damage to the boss again. Let's see, there's some scions. Looks like just scions and legionnaires this time. No, there's some phalanxes in there. No centurions though, that's good. So once you go ahead and kill all of these guys, I would suggest you kill all of these guys before you start doing any more damage on Ma'al. Because once Ma'al dies, there is going to be a nasty wave of enemies that come from behind Arc, where he's standing at right now. And that is going to compose of a major centurion, two major legionnaires, a major phalanx, and then two or three normal health scions. I think there's also one or two normal health legionnaires. So it's a pretty massive wave of enemies, but it is also the last wave of enemies. So go ahead and take them all out. What I like to do you'll see is I like to throw the Nova Bomb, hope it hits something, and then just run around this room, desperately shooting my rockets at enemies. The only thing with the Phalanx is that if you throw a rocket or even a Nova Bomb and from the front end of them, it will not do damage. If you're using Vortex, the Vortex area of effect will do damage, but as far as the actual impact, that does the most damage from your super will not do any damage. So just keep that in mind. Throw grenades kind of towards the back of them, and then shoot your rockets or your grenade. I was going to say grenade launcher. This isn't Destiny 2. But here we go. This is that wave right there. As you can see, epically failed it. And here we go. We're just starting to run for our lives. Don't stop running. Go ahead and take them all out. One hit with your lifesteal should kill these scions as well, so that's always good. That was the lucky shot. And then once you do that, all you gotta do is worry about this here boss. What I do is I try and avoid him at all costs, but just kind of poke your head into that bubble. Keep an eye out for these blue circles as well. That's where his rockets are going to land, and they will hurt you a lot if you just happen to be even half an inch off the air, so you just be very careful because of grounded. Also, since he's got that shield, pro tip, be very careful how you throw your Nova Bombs. That actually ruined the run for me trying to get this done, and it sucked. He had one hit left, and I was like, Nova Bomb it. And instead, my Warlock just barely got outside of the shield, and I blew myself up. So just be very careful while you're popping in and out of this shield. Throw your grenades, kind of pop out, run around in circles, because he will try to anticipate where you're going, just kind of like I did and failed with that rocket. Go ahead and just do that, and then that's going to do it. So rewards are at the end of this video. Like I said at the beginning of the video, go ahead and hit subscribe if you're new to the channel. Links are in the description box down below for those other guides. And other than that, I will talk to you guys later.
We can come back for them when you're ready. Let's get you home.